The mechanical keyboard market has a problem, and that problem is not a shortage of options. It is a shortage of honesty. Brands slap premium on anything with RGB lighting and a metal badge. Influencers push whatever pays the highest affiliate rate, and first-time buyers end up spending $200 on a keyboard that types worse than a $40 alternative they never knew existed. Today, that cycle ends. We are counting down the only 10 mechanical keyboards in 2026 actually worth your money. From entry-level boards that redefine what budget typing feels like, to a number one that has settled the endgame conversation for an entire community of enthusiasts who spent years and thousands of dollars searching for it. Whether you are buying your very first mechanical keyboard or upgrading from something that no longer satisfies, stay until number one. That build is something special. Number 10. Redragon K552. Let us start with the truth that the mechanical keyboard hobby does not want to advertise too loudly. The Redragon K552 is the proof that the core mechanical keyboard experience, genuine switch actuation, tactile feedback, and satisfying keystroke sound does not require a triple-digit investment to access. This is the machine that converts people. You hand a K552 to someone who has only ever typed on membrane keyboards, and within 60 seconds, the conversation about whether mechanical keyboards are worth it is over. The 10-keyless layout removes the numpad to bring the mouse closer to the typing position, an ergonomic improvement that every gamer and touch typist who makes the switch immediately understands and never wants to reverse. Altemu switches in red, brown, or blue variants give buyers the choice between linear, tactile, and clicky feel at a price where most brands offer no choice whatsoever. The aluminum top plate adds rigidity that prevents the flex and rattle that plague fully plastic budget boards, creating a typing surface that feels anchored and intentional. Double-shot keycaps ensure legends do not fade under heavy daily use, a detail that distinguishes the K552 from competitors that cut costs at the exact wrong place. RGB backlighting with per-key lighting effects adds visual personality that makes the board feel like a deliberate choice rather than a generic purchase. At around $35, the Redragon K552 is the most accessible entry on this list and the most effective gateway into mechanical keyboards available in 2026. Nothing beside it at the same price earns the comparison. Number 9. Tecware Phantom Elite. Here is something the premium keyboard community will not tell you, because acknowledging it would undermine the argument for spending 10 times more. The Tecware Phantom Elite is a hot swap mechanical keyboard with per-key RGB and a full aluminum frame, available at a price that the market has no rational explanation for. Hot swap capability is the single most important feature a mechanical keyboard can offer a new enthusiast. It means the switches are not soldered permanently to the PCB. They can be pulled out with a switch puller and replaced in minutes. No soldering iron, no technical skill, no risk. This transforms the keyboard from a fixed product into a platform. You can start with the included switches, try a different feel next month, and try again the month after that without buying a new board. The full aluminum frame eliminates the hollow resonance that undermines typing sound on plastic chassis designs, producing a thicker, more satisfying acoustic profile that makes the act of typing genuinely pleasant rather than merely functional. RGB lighting with per-key control and software customization provides the visual configuration that gaming setups demand. The full-size layout with dedicated numpad covers every professional and gaming use case without compromise. At around $55, the Tecware Phantom Elite delivers hot swap versatility and metal construction at a price that makes it impossible to justify its budget competitors and difficult to justify anything costing significantly more without a clear reason why. Number 8. Havit HV-KB395. The Havit HV-KB395L occupies a position in the market that almost no other product in any category manages to hold with conviction. The genuinely useful crossover product that performs its dual mandate without compromising either half of it. This is a low-profile mechanical keyboard, and that distinction matters enormously for a specific and underserved audience. Standard mechanical keyboards sit high off the desk surface, requiring wrist rest for comfortable, extended typing, and producing a profile that does not translate well to laptop-adjacent workspaces or travel bags. The HV-KB395L addresses every one of those constraints. The low-profile Kyle chalk switches reduce total key travel from the standard 4mm to 3mm, producing a snappier, faster actuation response that competitive typists and programmers consistently prefer for sustained sessions. The slim aluminum chassis sits flat against the desk at a height that eliminates wrist strain without requiring additional accessories. The full-size layout retains every key, including the numpad, a concession to productivity that most slim keyboard designs sacrifice in pursuit of compactness. The per-key RGB backlighting, with multiple lighting modes, delivers visual character in a package that travels and stores without the bulk of conventional mechanical boards. For the professional who moves between desk and meeting room, between office and home, the HV-KB395L solves a real problem that most keyboard manufacturers have not tried seriously to address. At around $69, this is the finest low-profile mechanical keyboard at its price in 2026. For its specific audience, no alternative comes close. Number 7. Keychron C3 Pro. The Keychron C3 Pro is where Keychron, the brand that arguably did more than any other to introduce mechanical keyboards to a mainstream audience, applies its most studied engineering to its most accessible product. And the result is a machine that punches so far above its price that it quietly makes the case for everything Keychron builds above it. The 10-keyless layout with a compact, clean aesthetic translates equally well to professional desks and gaming stations, a versatility that the aggressively styled budget competition cannot match. Keychron's Gateron, G Pro red, brown, or blue switch options deliver a smoothness at this price point that is genuinely surprising. Gateron's manufacturing tolerances produce a switch feel that most enthusiasts associate with more expensive builds. Hot swap capability on the Pro variant means switch experimentation is available from day one without any hardware modification. Keychron understood early that buyers who can customize are buyers who stay loyal. Full Mac and Windows compatibility with dedicated keycap sets and switch toggling via a hardware switch removes the platform restriction that turns away half of a potential audience. The double-shot PBT keycaps deliver texture, Legends durability, and acoustic impact that ABS keycaps at this price simply cannot replicate. USB-C connectivity with a braided cable is a build quality signal that the market at this price point consistently skips. At around $45, the Keychron C3 Pro is the value benchmark for hot swap mechanical keyboards in 2026. It sets a standard that its own higher tier siblings must work to justify surpassing. Number 6. Royal Kludge RK84. The Royal Kludge RK84 is the machine that forces the question most keyboard buyers avoid asking themselves until they have already spent money on the wrong board. Do I actually need to be tethered to my desk to type well? The RK84 answers that question with wireless freedom delivered at a price that removes the last remaining excuse for buying a wired-only keyboard in 2026. The 75% layout is the most intelligent form factor on this list. It retains dedicated arrow keys and a column of function-adjacent keys on the right side, preserving the navigation utility that 65% layout sacrifice, while eliminating the numpad and condensing the overall footprint to something that fits comfortably on compact desks and clears space for larger mouse pads. Tri-mode connectivity, Bluetooth 5.0 to 3 devices simultaneously, 2.4 GHz wireless via USB dongle, and wired USB-C, covers every working scenario including rapid device switching between a desktop, laptop, and tablet without cable management involved. The hot swap PCB accepts both 3-pin and 5-pin switches, giving this board compatibility with the widest range of aftermarket switch options available on the market. Battery life at approximately 4,000 mAh delivers weeks of wireless use on a single charge, a figure that competitors at double the price consistently fail to match. South-facing RGB LEDs eliminate the keycap shine obstruction that north-facing LED placements produce, resulting in more even, more attractive backlighting across every switch position. At around $75, the Royal Kludge RK84 delivers wireless tri-mode versatility, a premium layout, and genuine hot swap capability in a package that makes wired competitors at this price feel like they are selling constraints as features. Number 5. Ducky One 3 Mini. The Ducky One 3 Mini is the machine that keyboard enthusiasts build toward and then never leave. Ducky has held a reputation for exceptional build quality and manufacturing consistency for over a decade, and the One 3 Mini is the most concentrated expression of that reputation in the brand's current lineup. This is a 60% keyboard, the most minimal useful layout available, and it makes that reduction with purpose and clarity that casual buyers underestimate and experienced typists immediately recognize. At 60%, every non-essential key has been removed. No function row, no navigation cluster, no numpad. What remains is the pure typing core, the letters, numbers, modifiers, and nothing else. The footprint shrinks dramatically, the mouse sits closer, and the hands stay in a natural typing position without the lateral movement that wider layouts impose over thousands of daily keystrokes. The double-shot PBT keycaps are Ducky's most celebrated hardware detail. Thick, texturally precise, acoustically satisfying, and completely immune to the shining and legend fade that ABS alternatives develop over months of use. The hot swap PCB accepts both 3-pin and 5-pin switches with the firmness and retention that cheap hot swap sockets consistently fail to deliver. The Quack Mechanics software provides full per-key RGB customization, macro programming, and layout remapping with a stability that hobbyist firmware implementations rarely match. The One 3 Mini is available in a range of colorways: Fuji, Matcha, Daybreak, Classic Black and White, each with matched keycap and case color coordination that no competitor at this price takes as seriously. At around $109, the Ducky One 3 Mini is the finest 60% keyboard available for buyers who want a board that performs without modification on arrival and rewards modification if they choose to pursue it. Number 4. Keychron K2 Pro. The Keychron K2 Pro is the machine that eliminates compromise, the keyboard that answers every objection a serious buyer raises against every other option below it simultaneously. Wireless or wired, both, with Bluetooth, 5.1 and 2.4 GHz plus USB-C, Mac, or Windows. Both with dedicated keycap sets and hardware toggle. Hot swap or soldered? Hot swap, accepting 3-pin and 5-pin switches with secure retention. 75% layout or full size. 75%, preserving dedicated arrow keys and function row in a compact footprint. The K2 Pro takes the considered design of the original K2, one of the most universally recommended beginner mechanical keyboards of the last 5 years, and elevates every specification that the original version's price constraints prevented. The aluminum frame replaces the plastic chassis of earlier iterations, producing a typing platform with mass and rigidity that transforms the acoustic character of every keystroke from hollow to grounded. Keychron's double-shot PBT OSA profile keycaps introduce a sculpted top surface that improves fingertip registration on each key, a small ergonomic detail that becomes noticeable across sustained typing sessions. The south-facing RGB LEDs produce even backlighting across the full keycap surface without the hotspot interference of north-facing alternatives. The per-key RGB with Keychron's launcher software provides enough customization depth to satisfy enthusiasts without the complexity that drives away mainstream users. Gasket mounting on tostentidens in which the PCB floats on silicone gaskets rather than mounting rigidly to the case is a construction technique borrowed from keyboards costing 3 to 4 times as much, producing a typing feel with flex and bounce that rigid mount boards cannot replicate. At around $119, the Keychron K2 Pro is the most complete everyday mechanical keyboard at its price in 2026. If you want one board that answers every question without asking you to sacrifice anything, this is it. Number 3. Akko 3068B Plus. The Akko 3068B Plus is the machine that makes the enthusiast community quietly uncomfortable because it delivers gasket-mounted, hot swap, wireless keyboard performance at a price that dismantles the argument for spending more. And it does so with a level of acoustic tuning that boards costing 4 times as much routinely fail to achieve out of the box. Akko's CS switches are manufactured to tolerances that rival Gateron Yellow and Boba U4 alternatives, without the premium pricing those names command in the aftermarket. Smooth, consistent, and pre-lubed with a factory application that is genuinely usable rather than the dry, uneven factory lube that competitors ship as a checkbox feature. The gasket mount construction delivers that characteristic bounce and sound dampening. Keystrokes land with a soft thock rather than a sharp clack. And the difference in typing feel between rigid mount and gasket mount construction is the single, most convincing argument for why keyboard enthusiasts spend money the way they do. The 65% layout retains dedicated arrow keys while eliminating the function row, achieving a footprint balance that serves both gaming and productivity, without the navigation sacrifices that 60% layouts impose. Tri-mode wireless, Bluetooth 5.0 to 3 devices, 2.4 GHz wireless, and USB-C wired, provides the full connectivity range that modern multi-device workflows demand. The south-facing RGB delivers even illumination with a depth and smoothness that complements the board's premium acoustic character aesthetically. South-facing RGB LED with PBT double-shot keycaps complete a package that simply has no business existing at this price. At around $89, the Akko 3068B Plus is the most technically overspecified keyboard at its price on this list. Enthusiasts who have spent years chasing this typing experience in custom builds will be quietly irritated at how much this board costs. That irritation is the most honest review it could receive. Number 2. Glorious GMMK Pro. The Glorious GMMK Pro is where this list enters a category that the mainstream keyboard market rarely addresses seriously. The true enthusiast-grade platform. A keyboard designed not as a finished product, but as a foundation. A starting point for a build that is entirely your own. The GMMK Pro is a 75% aluminum keyboard with a rotary knob, gasket mounting, and a south-facing PCB. And every one of those specifications is a deliberate invitation for the owner to make it something the factory never envisioned. The full aluminum top and bottom case produces a typing platform with the weight and resonance of custom keyboards sold at 3 to 4 times the price. The gasket mounting system uses silicone gaskets at 8 contact points between the PCB and the case, producing a typing feel with flex, bounce, and sound dampening that rigid mount keyboards at any price cannot replicate. The rotary encoder knob, programmable for volume, media control, or any function via QMK and VIA open source firmware, is the kind of hardware detail that custom keyboard builders pay a premium for in boutique components. The fully open QMK and VIA firmware compatibility means every key, every layer, every macro, and every RGB effect is configurable without manufacturer software. The board speaks the universal language of the enthusiast community. The 75% layout retains the function row and arrow cluster, while achieving a compact, focused footprint that maximizes desk space and mouse clearance. The GMMK Pro ships barebone, without switches or keycaps, which is either a frustration or a freedom depending entirely on the buyer. For enthusiasts who already know what switches and keycaps they want, it is freedom. For first-time enthusiasts who want to learn what they like by building it themselves, it is the finest classroom available. At around $160 barebone, the Glorious GMMK Pro is the gateway to genuine keyboard enthusiast culture. A platform that rewards every dollar and every hour of attention you choose to invest in it. Number 1. Keychron Q1 Pro. The Keychron Q1 Pro is the end of the search. Not for every buyer, but for the buyer who has asked the right questions, tried enough boards to know what they are looking for, and refused to settle for a typing experience that is merely good when a truly exceptional one exists at a price that is difficult to argue against. This is the machine that the mechanical keyboard community has been building toward for a decade, and Keychron delivered it with a completeness that leaves the alternatives without a response. The full aluminum, CNC-machined case is the foundation of everything the Q1 Pro achieves. This is not extruded aluminum with the machined faceplate. It is a case milled from a solid block of aluminum to tolerances that produce fit and finish indistinguishable from custom keyboards sold at 2 to 3 times the price. Every edge is crisp, every surface is consistent, and the mass of the case produces a desk presence that communicates intent before a single key is pressed. The double gasket mounting system goes further than the single gasket designs found at lower price points. Silicone gaskets isolate the PCB from the case at both the top and bottom contact surfaces, producing a typing feel with a depth of flex, softness of landing, and richness of acoustic character that represents the genuine pinnacle of what gasket mounting achieves. The sound profile of the Q1 Pro, with factory foam dampening layers and Keychron south-facing PCB, produces a thocky, deep, rounded keystroke character that custom builders spend hundreds of dollars in aftermarket modifications trying to replicate on inferior platforms. Wireless connectivity via Bluetooth 5.1 with 3-device pairing and 2.4 GHz wireless via USB dongle joins wired USB-C to deliver tri-mode operation. The same connectivity breadth found in wireless-first keyboards applied to a platform with the build quality of a wired flagship. The hot-swap PCB accepts 3-pin and 5-pin switches with retention and alignment precision that cheap hot-swap sockets consistently compromise. Full QMK and VIA firmware compatibility opens every layer of the keyboard's behavior to customization without manufacturer dependency. Key remapping, macro programming, RGB configuration, and layer management are all handled through open-source tools that the community has refined over years. The 75% layout retains the function row, dedicated arrow keys, and a right-side navigation column, the most ergonomically complete compact layout available, in a footprint that fits any desk without negotiation. Keychron ships the Q1 Pro with double-shot PBT OSA profile keycaps that match the board's quality at the keystroke level, a finishing detail that most competitors at this tier undermine with keycaps that do not belong on a keyboard of this caliber. The Keychron launcher software provides platform-level RGB and configuration control for users who prefer graphical interface management alongside the open-source firmware option for those who want complete control. At around $199,